We've got earnings for the most important company in the world this afternoon, which is causing the market to take something of a breath today, I would think. We've also got Bitcoin bouncing off a key level, Ethereum pulling up. Tom Lee did a very interesting interview, I think it was yesterday or the day before, where he talked about Ethereum and Bitmine. But before we get going, check out the channel memberships. We've got some great stuff going on then there, especially in the stalagmite level where you get those real-time trade posts. Spoiler alert, I have been buying up Bitcoin miners again recently. I'm also doing a lot of stuff like selling cash secured puts, something that if you haven't done much of in the past might be an interesting little insight there as to how I do that. And of course, we've also got Soda Straw and Stalactite, where you get the badges, you get the emojis, you get early access to all the videos while they are processing up to HD. You also get the priority reply to comments, and Stalactite, you get member shoutouts as well. So let's get right into this thing. So NVIDIA has been charging up basically here. Well, we did a bit of a pullback. We're coming right back up around those all-time highs. There's an expectation of something like a 6 to 8% move up or down on NVIDIA after the earnings this evening. Yes, this evening. So today I'm pretty much going to try to sit on my hands. The only thing I'm kind of interested in is Tesla because of the big triangle pattern everyone sees and everyone's paying attention to on that. And in fact, I'm so tempted to get into that. We'll see. But NVIDIA is going to be a market mover. Is the rally going to continue, or is NVIDIA finally going to give us a reason to sell? And we can see here on this fib retracement, it only ever came back down to the 382. It never went any lower than that. Like, this thing gets bought up. When this thing comes down, it gets bought up pretty quick. So that's what's going on with NVIDIA, and there will be adjacent plays like APLD will be affected if NVIDIA does well or bad, or badly. And if this one falls, I'd be looking for it to fall around 13 in like a catastrophic fall down to about 1050. You also have companies like CoreWeave that are going to depend on NVIDIA doing well. And if NVIDIA does badly, CoreWeave can come back down into the 60s. If NVIDIA does well, we can see it launch itself well into the hundreds. Now, I do have a position on CoreWeave, a bullish position, so hopefully CoreWeave does not get wrecked here because of the earnings from NVIDIA. And in fact, I'm conflicted. I may decide to close it early. I might hold it through. I don't know. We'll see. Companies like NBIS, which is also, it's similar to CoreWeave, but they do more inference. They're working on the inference aspect of AI. We did get a nice bull flag, and it's pushing up off of that bull flag, but if it comes down now, that could end up being a double top, and we could end up revisiting around $52 on that one. So that's just a few things. Or like Teradyne, they do testing for chips and boards. So yeah, they've been driven up high due to AI demand and chip demand. If this goes badly, this thing could come back down to 108, maybe even if things get bad, down to 100 again. And that is, I'm sure there are more. Palantir as well, I'm sure, will be impacted. The Mag 7 possibly impacted by that. That's all I wanted to say there. Now, Ethereum. So we're going to talk a little bit about Ethereum and Bitcoin real quick. So Bitcoin has been coming down a little bit. We came out of this swing. So we swung for 108 here, right? And we're coming out of it. I really wish we were coming out of this explosively. The fact that we're not coming out of this explosively is kind of eerie. I don't like it. Now, something to remember. We are near the very end of the 4-year cycle here. We've only got a few months left, and then it is done. We're also looking at, as you can see here on the right, we are also looking at rotation into the alts. We might actually be entering an altcoin season. Bitcoin's been going flat while alts have been running. Bitcoin miners have also largely been running today. It doesn't look like they're doing so, but they have been on the move. Look how a lot of these are positive while Bitcoin is negative. That generally happens in the altcoin season as well. Remember, altcoin seasons do not last long. They are a flash in the pan. So we're looking at, maybe 45 days, maybe 50 days of solid altcoin action with a blow off top, hopefully, on all of the alt assets. And then it comes all crashing down. Bitcoin meets its peak, and then we're done. And that's that. See you in June for the cycle low, and then see you again in 3.5 years from then when we are sitting exactly where we are right now again. That's how it's going to play out. We are coming very close to the end of the maturity of this cycle. So keep that all in mind. Also, so this thing's got to come roaring out of this and push and not stop pushing until it gets to like 150, 170, something like that. If we look at global liquidity, we need to start moving up. Like we did this move down, now we need to start doing this move up. That's a problem. If we lose this low here, this 108, things are going to get dicey. They're going to get real dicey. And if we go look at, let me bring up a Pi cycle top. Hopefully that one doesn't suck. I don't know which one that one is. I didn't see my one with my star on it. Let's see here on the daily. Where are you at? Where's the Pi cycle? I don't even see it. It's supposed to be there. Well, that was garbage. All right. Let me find one I actually have. There we go. Pi cycle. That's one that works. Okay. Look where we are. So, in the past, the Bitcoin bull run never ended until we got the cross up of this reddish moving average above this greenish moving average, okay? Even if that was just a very light cross like it was back here in 2021, this cycle has never ended until that happened. So, if that's going to happen, if it's going to happen, and if somehow Bitcoin hasn't become broken, which I don't necessarily think it has, we need to go way higher than $188,000 to bring this red moving average above that green moving average right now. That red moving average is at 110. The green is at 188. So let's go look at how that happened last time. So last time, when we were in a situation like this, it was September of 2020, which was a year before we saw the peak on Bitcoin. Are we a year away from the peak of Bitcoin? I hope not, because that would throw off everything, wouldn't it? Anyways, this move was at 10,000. Oh, and look at this. This was at 18,000. Does that sound super familiar to what I just said a second ago? 110,000 and 180,000 currently. Back here on September 2020, we were riding that red line, and that red line was at 10,000, and the green line was at 18,000. That's an interesting coincidence. How high did this bad boy go afterwards? Before we got that cycle peak here, these were at 47,000, which if we translated it to what we're looking at today, that'd be 470,000. And Bitcoin was at 64,000, which if we translated that to today would be $640,000. Now, do I think that's going to happen? That seems a bit excessive to me. But if we're going to get the Pi cycle top, if it's going to work this time, it sure looks like Bitcoin needs to get well over $500,000. Is that going to happen? Are we going to get that? I don't know if the Pi cycle top is going to work this time. I'm not so certain, because that would be a ton of money. I mean, we're already looking at a Bitcoin with a market cap well over $1 trillion. I think it's over $2 trillion right now, actually. And if we're going to double up from here, at $200,000, that's going to make it $4 trillion. And if we're going to double up again, we're going to look at, 400,000, that you're looking at, $8 trillion. Is Bitcoin going to be an $8 trillion asset in the next few months? That I find difficult to believe, personally. So I don't know if the Pi cycle top is going to work this cycle. I don't even know if we're going to come up and touch this thing up here, this moving average. We might get shy of it. This might be the first time the Pi cycle top doesn't work. So be aware of that, because we're running out of time. We are running out of time for the Bitcoin cycle. All right. So Let me talk about Ethereum real quick. So Tom Lee is super bullish on Ethereum. Why? And he's super bullish on Ethereum because he believes that Ethereum is going to be the base layer for the future of banking. And that might be the truth. I think that he's onto something there with that. A lot of us were thinking, oh, Solana is going to overtake Ethereum this cycle, and I'm now thinking that's not the case. And a lot of us think, oh, well, Solana is faster and just overall better than Ethereum, and that may be true, but that also might not matter. And why wouldn't that matter? Why wouldn't speed of finality matter? We're talking about, so Ethereum is fine. So like, oh, Ethereum's so slow, it takes minutes to finalize. Think about how long it takes the financial sector right now to finalize anything. It takes days, weeks. You want a mortgage? You're looking at over a month. And if you could take that month and even make it days, that's a significant increase in efficiency. If you take that month and you translate it down to minutes, that's an insane increase in efficiency for financial markets. And they view Ethereum as a network that is more secure than Solana currently and has never had downtime. And Solana has had downtime. Now, have they had downtime in a while? Will they ever have downtime again? These are questions that might lead these big institutions to choose Solana in the next cycle and sometime in the future. But I think they're going to tag Ethereum first. And I think analysts and industry insiders are they've chosen and rallied behind Ethereum, including our very own president, his family. They've also rallied behind Ethereum and not Solana. So that tells me that Ethereum is likely the play. It is likely going to be the remain number 2. It's not going to get flipped this cycle. That doesn't mean that Solana is not going to go up. It doesn't mean that Solana is not going to go up and possibly go up more percentage-wise than Ethereum. Like you might triple your money in Solana while only doubling it in Ethereum. But I think Ethereum will become the institutional and remain the institutional token for a while. And I think that's all there is to it. I mean, you just think about it for a second. We're talking about an industry that takes days to do something. And in the crypto industry, yeah, we're like seconds or nothing. But in their industry, taking that down to hours is a huge increase. Ethereum does it in minutes still. That's an insane increase for them. And they don't want to trade security or what they perceive as security for anything in that industry. So Ethereum, I think, is going to be the overall winner there, especially with the stable coins being half on Ethereum. Half of all stable coin activities on Ethereum. The Genius Act is going to cause the activity of stable coins to 10x, 15x in the next couple of years. So I think Ethereum is likely not going anywhere. And yeah, that might be the case, and you might see a lot of influencers. Oh, Ethereum's a dinosaur. It's slow, and it takes way too long to do anything on it, and nobody wants to deal with that. Robinhood is already using Ethereum to tokenize stocks. All right, if they are already using Ethereum to tokenize stocks, not Solana. Just let that sink in for a second. These other major banks already starting to toy with Ethereum, not Solana. Solana is being used by some big companies, but not to drive financial markets. I think that's going to be Ethereum. Anyways, that's all I've got for you today. Now, of course, nothing I say is financial advice, not a suggestion by seller hold any asset whatsoever. Always do your own research, come to your own conclusions. You're responsible for your own risk, as investing is risky. That's all I've got for you today. Please like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Check out the Trade Cave store, link in the description as well as the channel bio. Don't forget about the channel memberships. We've got some really great stuff going on in there, especially in that stalagmite level. You also, I greatly appreciate anyone that supports the channel through SodaStraw or Stalactite, where you get the badges, emojis, early access to videos while they're processing up to HD, as well as priority reply to comments and at stalactite level, some member shout outs as we go. Anyways, with that said, have a profitable day.